Hello, everybody. So, I want to talk about Shaman's Death. And I'm nervous about putting this video out because I kind of knew this happened to me, but I didn't want to talk about it um, for some time because it's not easy information and it's not easily understood either. So, Shaman's Death, right? So, it's when you kind of experience some sort of trauma that should kill you and you do die, but you don't die. Like you come back, but you come back different. Um, One thing that most people kind of don't understand about shamanism is that death is a natural part of life. And death is what allows us to transform and become new things, especially myself being a practitioner of snake medicine. The snake, now it's not dying, but it does shed its skin. It does transform itself um, over and over again. Um, and so in my life, I had to shed my skin more times than I can count. But let's just talk about my particular moment that I knew that I died. And it was really surreal. So I always said that I wasn't going to live past the age of 25. That if my life had not improved by the time, a certain age of 24, that that was it for me. That I wasn't going to stick around. I wasn't going to find out. I wanted to be gone. And I started saying that at a young age. Like I might have been 18 when I first thought that, you know what I mean? Um, I had a rough childhood, which some of it I talked about in my shadow work videos. Some of it I haven't talked about at all because some people, I mean, to me it's kind of pointless to go out and say all these things about my parents and about my upbringing. On one hand, it's beneficial because the more people realize that, it's a community thing, it's a collective thing, the way we're being raised, the more it allows for healing. But at the same time, it's like I don't want to be like sounding like a broken record and repeating stuff. But let me just sum it up because I don't want this video to be forever. That I had a very not good relationship with my mother, and my father was not really in my life. He paid child support, and I seen him a few times, and that was about it. Um, I started becoming depressed. I was the oldest, and my mom put a lot of responsibility on me that shouldn't go to a child, right? And so I started experiencing depression when I was like 19. I mean, I'm talking about 19. I moved out at 19. I was about 8 or 9 years old when I first started experiencing depression. So very young, and I didn't get into counseling for it until I was like 13, and my mom basically didn't care, and she just said that's your problem. And because I didn't get any help for it, I feel like that's what caused me to progress into having anxiety all the time for no damn reason. Um, and then because that also went untreated and wasn't properly dealt with, I started to have panic attacks. And my mom was totally uncooperative. Like now, these days, I'm not saying that it's right, but these days when kids have psych issues or any sort of issue like that, they like force medication on you and force the parents to show up to be, to be proactive about it. But no, not my mom. She was like, whatever. I don't have time to keep coming up to the school. Do what y'all gotta do. I don't care. And it's not funny, but that was her attitude about it. Like as if I wasn't even her kid. Like, yo. But that was her attitude about being a mother for real. When it came to me anyway, because she treated me very differently from the way she treats my younger sisters. But anyway, that's kind of irrelevant right now. So I couldn't do what other kids do. I couldn't even change books in a locker during, when the bell rings and you go change out your books in your locker and go on to your next class. I couldn't even do that. I was having panic attacks and just blacking out in the hallways. As a, what was I, 13? That's when that started. Like, I was going through serious, what I'm trying to say is I was going through serious mental issues, serious psych issues, I guess. Even though I don't halfway consider depression a psych issue, it always has a cause. It doesn't just fall on you. And people try to make like it's hereditary when really it's parents. But let me focus, because talk about that in another video. That's a good topic. But anyway, back to what I'm talking about. So you get what I mean. That sadness, that depression, the anxiety, the panic attacks, the having all of these spiritual gifts and not having anyone around me to cultivate it, and number one, to cultivate it, and number two, to help me understand myself and be okay with myself, like truly feel loved and truly feel like this is my purpose and there's nothing wrong with it. My family kind of treated me like it was some kind of disease that I needed to do something about. And so I moved out when I was 19, and I got pregnant. And when I lost my baby, well, I mean, technically, it wasn't like a loss. It was actually like I went into early labor. When all of that happened, and I realized, like, that, the doctors were telling me that there's no way that she's going to live. She's too small, blah, blah, blah. That's when I was just like, fuck my life. Like, I don't want to be here. What is this for? I'm trying not I'm trying to like push my emotions back down, because that's kind of the point of the video about being Shamans Death. So I'm pulling myself in, I'm sorry. So, because that was really the breaking point for me. To have the parents that I had, to, my mom was like a super Christian, and I couldn't go anywhere, I couldn't do anything, I didn't have friends, I couldn't do anything normal. And it was like the very few things that I did enjoy, which was like music and writing and reading books and stuff, just chilling in my room. It was like she had to come snatch that too. Like, I was not allowed to have happiness. Like, fucking misery loves company, let me tell you. It's real. And even amongst family members. And so I was already a sad, depressed person when that happened to me. Babies bring joy and hope and all of that stuff, and to have it snatched from me, I could not handle it. Actually, I was going to kill myself, but I couldn't sleep. But when I finally did sleep, like from just plain exhaustion, when I did sleep, I had a dream that my grandfather that passed when I was like 13 or 14, I had a dream that he was holding a baby, and he said, "You don't need to worry. You can rest. She's here with us." And I saw other women that I didn't know coming around him to help him care for the baby, and it gave me enough peace to be able to feel like, okay, I'm not going to kill myself, because I really felt like a terrible mother. I felt like, why should she be in that world and I'm in this one, and I'm leaving now? Like, that's how I felt. But it didn't take away it gave me enough relaxation, I guess, enough peace of mind to not kill myself in the moment, but I did start to kill myself mentally. If you know anything about the law of attraction, how your thoughts become reality. And all I kept saying to myself is, like, I'm not going to make it to 25. I don't want to be around for this bullshit. Like, if this is what life is going to be. When I say I had bad luck, in addition to bad things that other people did to me, My life was fucked up. It was terrible. And I don't wish it on anybody else. And I don't even want to talk about it because it's fucking depressing. But anyway, um, I kind of became like this zombie, this living ghost. I went to work on autopilot. Like, I got more jobs because I felt like maybe I could work myself out of my financial situation, which I really couldn't because the debt was bigger than me and it wasn't my debt. That was something that my parents did to me as well. Um, but in my mind, I thought, you know what? Like, there's nothing else out here for me. My friends were not very good friends. Um, they just weren't. And my family wasn't good family. Um, and my boyfriend wasn't great either. And neither was his family. Everything around me was just bleak. Like, just bleak. I don't even have another word for it. And I was living my life on autopilot, like in this zombie state where everything was a disaster around me, and I just wanted to be up out of this planet. And I was like, yo, like 25 is my max. I'm not living past this. I'm not sitting here dealing with this bullshit. There's no point to it. Like, to come here to this planet to just be suffering, I'm not here for that. I'm not going to stick around for that. And what ended up happening to me um, is that I'm going to go forward and then go backwards. I met someone right at the brink of me turning 20. How many months before my 25th birthday? I think I met him about 6 months before my 25th birthday. And even still, I'm aware that I died. And what happened on my 25th birthday is that it was something, it was strange. It's like being in two worlds at one time. And what happened, I'm trying to explain it the best way I can, is that I said I was going to go forward and then go backwards. So let me say that I died of a heart attack, right? At 25. And that was my experience. That was my death. That was the person that I was born as. That's kind of why I felt disconnected from that name for quite some time, because she's here, but she's not here. She gave up her body um, to other entities and other beings. So, and then she was reborn. So I was laying there in bed. It's like I was outside of my body and watching it happen to me, that I had my work clothes on, that I had come home and I worked a double shift, and I kicked my shoes off and laid myself across the bed with my clothes on. And I was just sleeping, and I had a heart attack in my sleep. And I was 25, and that was on my birthday. And nobody found me until 3 days later. And it made the news. My ex-boyfriend found me because I was kind of bitchy towards him. And I would make him come take my trash out because I wasn't going to touch the trash. I still don't touch the trash. I hate that shit. And he came by to take the trash out, and he saw me on the bed and realized that I wasn't responsive, but it was too late. And I was standing over myself. And I was actually smiling because I was thinking, she's finally getting what she wanted, which was peace. But I came back. But I didn't come back like as that girl that lived 24 and under. I came back. That's how to explain it. That's who Queen Isa is. Isis is an ancient Egyptian deity, and the Anu part actually comes from Danu. It's a Celtic deity, and they came in to my life and into inhabit my body and allow me to fortify myself. Otherwise, I wasn't going to make it. In other words, I do still have the original mission of my soul purpose. However, I needed help to continue in this body because I killed it. Not only, part that I'm leaving out, not only did I wish myself into death every freaking second that I could, I also did not eat well. I did not exercise. I drank a lot. I party a lot. I don't talk about that in my other videos, but yes. I was out partying all the time. I'm from the beach area. We drink. That's what's around you, bars and stuff. So I did that. And like I said, I was going to go forwards and go backwards. So going backwards, what actually happened just 6 months prior, I had a dream. And in that dream, I met my spirit guides. And just 2 of them. And the main one, the principal one, he told me that I had a decision to make. That this is a crossroads. This is what you've done to your body. Your time is almost up. However, if you want to stay, you have some options. And you know what I mean? Choose what you want to do. And pay attention in the future, and we're going to give you that outlet. And at that moment, I felt like, well, what the fuck? I've been sitting here all of this time waiting for fucking Jesus, waiting for, the angels to come down from heaven to save me from the life that I was living, to save me from everybody around me, and save me from myself. I was waiting for all of this bullshit. I'm like, you gonna wait till I'm almost dead to say something? Like, I was pissed. And a couple of days later, a friend of mine, she called me and asked me if I wanted to go to this concert with her, to this band that was playing locally. And she's like, oh yeah. She didn't tell me anything at the time, but she was like, she liked one of the guitar players. And I was like, something inside of me, normally I would have been like, no, I'm not going. But something inside of me was like, go, you got to go to this. And so when we were in the car, then I found out that she was being a groupie, and then she was just following them around everywhere, like all over this guy's dick, right? And I'm sorry this video is long, but whatever. I found that out. Anyway, we're there, and then she finds out that that the guy has a girlfriend, because she starts buying us drinks and talking to us and stuff like that, and she finds out that that's his girlfriend. So she gets pissed about it. But while I'm there, just when she was like, oh, this place sucks, or whatever, she was like, let's go. And just as we're like about to sum it up and just go ahead and go, this guy comes and talks to me. Now, I saw him when he came in. I thought he was cute and whatever, but I wasn't thinking about that because I'm too focused on death all the time, right? So, and I really literally was all the time. But anyway, he came over and he talked to me, and he just said like he was just extremely attracted to me, and he had to say something to me like then, like today. And we exchanged numbers because my friend was being annoying and bitchy, and she didn't want to stay. And I came in her car with her, so I told him, yeah, we'll meet up later in the week. And I also felt this sort of connection to him. And so we're adults. Y'all know what happened, right? And however, the reason why I have to mention it is because sexual healing is a real thing, and most people don't perform it in a healing manner. However, the experience that I had with him was like fucking interdimensional. Um, I have to say that that's when, um, I hope you can't hear my stomach growling. um, I have to say that that's when Isis became a part of me, is during that time with him. That's when I experienced healing. Like, if it's like something you can't even put into words. When I say interdimensional, it's like you're feeling something way more powerful than just like a regular orgasm. It's like you were coming out of your body to do something or to go somewhere. Like, I was literally seeing white lights and just I can't explain it right. I don't know how to explain it, but it was like literally just 6 months. Yeah, that ended up being about 6 months, and we saw each other for about another 3 months, and then I cut it off because he kind of liked me, and I didn't want to be liked because I wasn't in the mood for that bullshit. I wasn't trying to be in nobody's relationship, but he said some things that were not coming from him. Like, I was aware that it was coming from not only the experience, but also the conversation, the connection between the two of us. I was aware that this is heaven. This is the spirit world saying, we'll give you another chance. We'll allow you to stay. Even though I still, in the future, died at the same time that I proposed that I would die. Even though I saw it still happening to myself, the other entities are what allowed me to be revived and allowed me not to be how do I explain it? I am the person that died that day from a heart attack, and I'm also Isanu. I'm also Isis, and I am Anu. I'm also my ancestors, who came into my life just a short time after that as well, in 2012. So I'm all of these things, and I'm on camera confessing it, and what else do I want to say? I think the creepiest part, the funny thing is, I kept trying to explain it to one of my sisters, to both of them actually, and one of them just was like, "You're fucking crazy," and the other one was just like, "I'm trying to understand what you're saying, but I don't get it." And I went to the doctor, and when I finally went to the doctor, they were like, "How are you even alive right now? Like, you have no thyroid hormone in your body. You have none. You should be like dead." And they were like, "Your cardiac levels or whatever, they're off the charts. You need to see a cardiologist right away. Like, if you had a heart attack," they were like, "Literally, it looks like you're going to have a heart attack a month from now and just be gone." And when I got out, my sister was standing there during that appointment because I can't remember. I think I was scared to go in because I thought they were going to tell me I was going to die anyway or something like that. And that is essentially what she told me, that I was that close to death at 25. And she was like, "That doesn't make any sense that you're like this and you're this young. It doesn't make any sense at all." And she's like, "I have to send you to the cardiologist." And my sister was just like goosebumps. Like, she couldn't stop staring at me. You know how people like get weird or whatever. She couldn't believe what she was hearing and how it lined up with everything that I told her. And then it kind of made sense, even though I still don't think that she understands. I think that she thinks that I made up the idea of Isis and Donnie, but I didn't. Thanks to them, I'm still here. Thanks to them, I'm still able to complete my original mission. Thanks to them, I'm much stronger. And that's my confession. I felt like I had to say that. And last night, I was just crying because the original person that I was born as was just heartbroken. And like I said in the other video, I went through soul retrieval, and pieces of my soul just keep coming up. And last night in particular, it was a piece of me that was about 12 years old that was depressed, that wrote a lot. And I was crying because my mom threw away all of my writings. Um, I got invited to national poetry conventions, and I had competitions and scholarships and stuff lined up, and she just took it away from me. And like by not allowing me to go to anything. But when I got older, I still saved them because I planned to like publish a book one day, and she threw that stuff away when I moved. Um, like before I could come back and get my stuff, she threw all of my stuff away. Um, and I couldn't stop crying last night. But at the same time, it's tough being in this shamanic life. I'm not kidding, because it's like you're experiencing two worlds at the same time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, here I am in this physical, and at the same time, I'm present in the spiritual world. Um, Here, some part of me is still very alive, and another part of me is also deceased, gone. Um, but anyway, I just felt like I had to tell that, and I don't know how well it's going to be taken or understood, but that is who I am. That is what happened to me. Um, and that is what shamanic death is. I feel better. Have a great night.